Today we're going to be doing something just a little bit different. It's going to require a little bit of a quick turnaround time in terms of editing, and you'll notice how this one comes out not on our normal upload date of Sunday, and that is because we're going to be looking at auctions and telling you about auctions that are ending in a certain time frame. Now, the difficulty in making such a video is that I am trying to show you deals that you can have on Morphmarket Auctions, and that means we have to quickly put this out. So this is a very experimental thing. It's something that we may try to do weekly, but we kind of need to experiment as to when we're going to record them as well. We're recording currently on a Wednesday, and all of the deals that I'm seeing here, at most, they end on Saturday. So we're going to talk about the deals that end between, I don't know, when do you think you can have this video out?
Probably try to upload it tomorrow.
You hear that? We're gonna try for tomorrow. So the deals that you're seeing right now will be ending at 6 o'clock Central Time on Thursday, May 2nd, and going on from there. So the first few deals we mentioned, you're gonna need to act quick. So first off, focusing on this clown pied catches my eye. Anytime you can get a clown pied for a price like this. It does have 21 bids, however, so it does have interest in it. I highly doubt it's staying at this $390 price point, and it should actually go up. And actually, I'm starting to see the market rise a little. So I don't know if that's indicative of what you'll see on Morphmarket Auctions, but if you're in the market for a male clown pied, I think that this one would be worth a look at least. But you'll have to act fast because this one ends the day you're watching this. Here's one that is really interesting to me. We just got finished with a video talking about the most expensive combinations, and we mentioned zebra being the base gene that kind of pulls in a lot of these combinations. So on that note, here is a male 100% Desert Ghost zebra. And you usually want your hets, especially if you're going to get a double het or anything like that, you want it to be a female. But when you're talking about the zebra gene, the price is pretty high. So maybe take what you can get. In fact, this will possibly be on my radar. I don't think I'll go for it because I'm certain that the price will raise beyond where maybe I'm wanting to take it, even though I think it'll be worth whatever it ends up going for. I'll definitely be taking a look at this one. So if you're in the market for a 100% Desert Ghost zebra, please stop me from buying this one. Moving on to the next page here, first thing that catches my eye is this Cinnamon 100% Het Desert Ghost 66% Het Clown. Again, it's a male, but Cinnamon and Clown go incredibly well together when you layer Desert Ghost on top of that with the DG Clowns. Right now this bad boy has 0 bids. Again, like I said, yes, you usually want your hets in females, and I don't normally like playing around with possible hets, but this is a possible het that has a test out there. And if this price stays, well, right now it's 0, but if it stays incredibly low, shipping is very reasonable, I'd say that this could be worth the gamble for some people. This is not going to be probably for someone who is really willing to shell out some good dough, because you don't want to take the chances with it, especially in a male, maybe a female. But depending on the amount that this ends up at in that last 30 minutes or so, maybe it's worth a look. Here's one that's caught my eye here. This is a pretty cool one, and at a very, very favorable price currently anyways. And that would be this Stranger Leopard Clown female. As I'm going through, I haven't been calling out a lot of the vendors and whatnot, but I do want to pick people who have a good reputation. Conley Herps have a good reputation. So when they say you've got a stranger that's also a leopard and a visual clown, you can definitely trust that you're getting a quality one. A female visual clown at right now at $555. I mean $575. If you want to have this girl, we're entering the area of now you've got a little bit more time. You'll have at least a day and a half from this video's release anyways that you could possibly explore on this one. Here's another one that I would like to call out just because it's a proven breeder. We haven't talked about those. You can buy proven breeders off Morphmarket, and this is a Pastel Highway proven breeder. That'd be a gravel Yellowbelly Pastel. We actually have a Fire Highway for sale here, so it kind of reminiscent of it. I like the Fire in a little bit, but the point of the matter is that's the boy. This is a proven girl. So if you're looking to get into making highways or some of the various Yellowbelly combos that you can get from this, this would be a really cool addition. And I don't feel it will go for more than this 155, but I don't feel like it's gonna go for a massive amount of money. They make incredibly cool visual snakes, and they will always be very, very popular, like the blue-eyed Lucy's. If you were looking to produce things like highways and freeways, this might be worth a look. Got another one here with some hets and possible hets, but it's a female. What we're looking at here is a pastel red Axanthic chocolate het puzzle, possible het orange ghost. Now the reason this caught my attention is because of, well, the puzzle. Getting a het in a female, I think, is a lot better. You get a visual male typically. That way you are always breeding that visual male to multiple females. Yes, if you can afford a visual female, go for it, but if you can only afford one or the other, I'd say normally you want to get your females with your hets and your males with your visual. That way you can get multiple hets, females, and have that one visual male breed them all. The seller is saying that this female should be ready to breed in the upcoming season as well, so that's a big plus. The downside of all this, if you're in the US like I am, is that this female is located in Canada. So if you're in Canada, cool, you're going to be able to snag this one for a lot cheaper, but if you're in the US, you're going to pay a little bit more in shipping. That said, this price right now for a girl that's ready to go on a het puzzle with a lot of extra genes in the background there to add to that project, I think it's definitely worth a look, even for someone like me who's in on the puzzle gene. Next up would be a breeder ready stranger Spotnose, possible Specter 50% het clown. This is a male, again with the 50% het clown, but if you were able to snag a stranger that is het clown, it also had Spotnose in it and maybe even Specter. That's a pretty good deal. Will this rise? I honestly, I can't say. I got my stranger female from Spartan Pythons, which I'm incredibly blessed to have gotten for a pretty good deal. And that was a female, and she's 100% het clown. So I don't know if this will raise too much more. Maybe it will, because again, I said the market's coming back. And this is a breeder ready one. So it's difficult to say. Honestly, it probably will go up a bit. But if you're looking to get stranger in your collection, this guy's pretty much ready to go. And the last one on this particular page would be this male hurricane clown. A very favorable price right now from Ball Pythons 101. Hurricane has been proven to be genetically the same as Trick. So if you're looking for the Trick gene, the Hurricane, the Trick, they're the same thing, just like Banana and Coracle are the same thing. They're just discovered at different times by different people. You have a visual clown here as well. So if you wanted to work the Hurricane / Trick into your projects, this would be a good way to get started. Next up would be something a little different, and this would be a group. So someone is selling what looks like 1 to 2. Whenever you see that, by the way, a 1.2, that means 1 male, 2 females. If you ever see a 1.0, that means 1 male. 0.2, that's 2 females. You get the picture. But this is a Hypo Desert Ghost clown group. Now they're not all of it, obviously, but you have a male, which is Pastel, Enchi, Vanilla, Yellowbelly, 100%, triple het for Hypo, DG, and Clown. You have a female, which is a Leopard, 66% het DG, Hypo, and they put DG again. That's a typo. They meant Clown. They also have a female that is Yellowbelly, 66% het DG, Hypo, and Clown as well. Again, you're working with all hets here, and the females, you're working with 66% hets. Those are still good odds. Right now, 0 bids at $500. If this stays in this hemisphere, this is a great investment project for someone who's looking to get into it. The reason I say that is because the chances of not hitting a DG, a Hypo, or a Clown, at least, if not some combos between all that, are fairly low. You have got 2 females in there that have that. Also, you can genetically test for all 3 of these genes, Clown, DG, and Hypo. So if you really wanted to, you could send in both sheds, do the entire spectrum of all of the sheds, and then you know what you're going for. You'll be able to determine. Again, this is a very good deal, because if for some chance you were able to get the DG Hypo Clown with some of those extra genes in there, because remember, those are layered on there too, which is always an extra plus. Leopard, Yellowbelly, Enchi, Vanilla, and even Pastel. This might get forgotten. It might get overlooked because people don't like working with hets, and I totally understand. This isn't necessarily a purchase for your average established ball python breeder, maybe, but it'd be cool for a hobbyist to actually be able to hit some of this. You might not just be a hobbyist for long. The next one I wanted to call attention to would be this Blackhead Leopard Clown. Again, a male, but a very, very favorable price at this time. Blackhead is awesome. Leopard is awesome. A little bit of a more established, older gene, obviously. Blackhead is obviously out there, but I don't see a lot of people working it, especially in my area. I'm working it now, but I'm still growing these juveniles up. This would be a way to get it through a lot of your collection, and having the visual clown and the leopard in there would be very, very nice. In fact, doing things like Blackhead Batmans, stuff like that comes to mind. Things that you would be suited to set up right away. At 80 bucks right now, 9 bids with 53 hours though. I think this is going up a bit, but I still think this is going to be a good deal, and whatever it ends up at, I think it'll be a very reasonable amount. This is a really cool animal that can do a lot. Next animal would be this Furrow. Not very well heard of. The reason I want to call her out is that this is a sub-adult. I'm not seeing a weight, but you can tell that she is a little bit of a bigger girl with some thickness to her, and she was born in 2022, so there's a good chance that she's ready in a year. Maybe not this upcoming season, but the season after. This girl is really shiny here, so it makes it a little bit hard to see what it does, but it's a pixelating gene, and I love pixelating genes. Furrow has a different, more abnormal pattern. You can tell it still has the alien heads and such, but it's a little bit different, a little bit warped, and they have all these granite speckles in the alien heads or the pattern itself. So I think it's very cool. Again, really low price here. Possible to get into this gene with a female that you could breed some of your males, maybe with some visual hets, maybe get some clown in there, some other such stuff. The only thing obviously with these ones that you got to pay attention to is that this does have a reserve price. So when you're looking through these, make sure that you understand that if a reserve price is not met by the time this auction ends, they basically null and void the auction. So something to keep an eye on. Another puzzle here with a pastel spider Yellowbelly puzzle, possible Spotnose. It is a girl as well, so having a visual puzzle would be very, very cool. If you can get over the fact that it's spider, of course, and possibly even Spotnose. When you get spider and Spotnose together, I believe that's called the 8-ball. It has been known to have a little bit more of a wobble. I've never seen Spotnose myself that have this wobble, but they are part of the spider family. So when they're put together, it's possible that you get one that has a little bit more. So if you can get over that, this girl obviously is just under breeding size. I don't think she's a proven breeder, but she is all but ready to go. This, I think, would be a very good addition, especially at this price right now. And remember, the spider is going to scare some people away. It is going to keep the price down. This is how sometimes you can get good deals, but this animal will go for less than I believe it should because the spider gene is in it. Ooh, here's a cool one. We have a visual Hypo Clown female right now. 300 bucks. That'll go up, but worth a look for sure. Got a little bit of good size to her too at 301 grams, not just your average hatchling. Again though, there's that caveat, there is a reserve price. Worth looking into because I think that this one will keep rising. Here's another one I want to call attention to, but the genetics on the list, the traits at least, are a little confusing. So it is something you could always possibly message a seller with maybe some questions about. I won't lie, I don't know how auctions work with that. I don't think you can just message them, but maybe you can reach out to them on social media. But this one is an Orange Dream Leopard double het lavender clown. So it's het grail, so to speak. And it's a girl, and she's got some real good size to her. 550 grams. Right now the bidding is incredibly low. In a way, here's something that maybe you can take advantage of. She is listed, and it says the pairing was from a cinnamon leopard grail to a confusion Orange Dream from Aussie Boyd's. But the traits, as you can see over here, only have Orange Dream and Clown listed. This is not a clown. It is a het clown. Is it Orange Dream? Sure, but it's also supposedly leopard, and I definitely agree that's leopard. And it's also het lavender, which isn't even listed. So I'm not sure if they can be edited or not, but if they can't, this one probably won't get as much attention because people are gonna see that and get confused or worried. However, Get Morphed BP is an incredibly reputable seller. I'm gonna be in on this. I'm gonna put a feeler out. A feeler means just beat the bid, right? Here I am placing a bid, and this is what the bid screen looks like. I'm not gonna win this animal, not for this much anyways, but now I'll get reminders about it. So near the last hour of it, I think I get a reminder telling me, hey, 1 hour left on this one. I think that this is definitely worth a look. I think this could be one of the craziest deals on there, with a female, again, with the double hets. I'm in lavender, I'm in clown. This would be pretty cool to snag for a deal. Here are two that are near and dear to my heart, being monarchs, well, het monarchs anyways. These ones, again, both of these have reserve prices, but this first one I believe is a proven breeder. Pastel genetic stripe het monarch. So you're getting the actual visual genetic stripe with the monarch. Genetic stripe and monarch, they go very well together, let's just say. So being able to create one here for a reasonable price would be very, very cool. Again, it does have a reserve price. It has to beat that reserve price. You cannot see that reserve price. So keep an eye on it if you're wanting to get into monarch. This is from MSB Reptiles, one of the leaders in producing monarchs. And next up would be this boy here. Now, he is a Specter Het Monarch. This is a baby though, not a proven breeder like the other one. Right now, no bids, 68 hours left, and there is a reserve price, but I can guarantee you this reserve price will be less than the female. Again, if you're wanting to get into monarch maybe for a little bit cheaper, working with hets could be a way to do that in that case. Not always ideal, but with these higher end morphs, one can always dream, and if you can get into it for a price that you are comfortable with, this could be worth it, especially with monarch. On our last page here, starting off, we have a nearly 500 gram triple het clown hypogenetic stripe female. Again, what I said with the females, you want those to have your hets. If you want to build for a little bit cheaper, buy your male to have all of the genetics you want it to have in there. Make them the one that you splurge on, and then buy some hets, because you're going to have multiple chances to breed, and you're always going to hit cool stuff typically, or at the very least you're always going to pass those hets on. That being said, buying a hypogenetic striped clown male would be probably very expensive, but you could also get a double, like maybe a clown hypo or something like that, or you could still roll the dice and do head to head. Again, your chances of hitting something cool are much less, and then the babies you're never really going to know unless you test them. But when you do hit, if you're just working for yourself to create an animal that you need as a building block, that's valid in terms of what you are trying to build towards. If you only have a limited amount of funds, just always make sure that you're acceptable with what you're selling them for, because, you know, people buying 66% hets and such like that, taking the chances on those, I really don't. I mean, it's up to you whether you want to charge more for a possible or a 66% het. I don't think so. I view it as a bonus and maybe as an incentive to try to buy yours over someone else's. That's how I view it, but you do you. And to finish it off, we have a clown pied pair. The male is a breeder ready clown pied, so you can use him right away. He's 750 grams. He is a visual clown pied, which is always really awesome. Everything you get will have one copy of clown, one copy of pied. The female is a GHI double het clown pied, just about halfway to breeding size at 700 grams as well. This would be pretty good, because I think in about 1.5 years, 2 years, she would be ready. There's always a chance maybe you get the good odds there and you're ready in 1.5 years, maybe I doubt a year, but the male is ready now. So if you've got any females that he could go to, this would be a pretty decent deal. This has a lot of time left on it, and a GHI clown pied I think would be very, very cool. So it is a higher starting bid, but for the pair of both snakes that have a lot of weight and time put into them, you're going to be able to produce sooner. So always remember that you're having at least 1 year, maybe 1.5 years, honestly, of time cut off on that female, and that male's ready to go now. That's really cool. So definitely worth a look, I think, in some people's cases. And actually, last up, I just noticed this, is this ready to breed double het sunset clown. This is a male. Again, not ideal to have your double hets in, but it is ready to breed. Right now, $0. There is, again, a reserve price though. I don't know what that reserve price is, but if it stays in the lower hemisphere, this could be worth a look for someone looking to get into this combo. Hope you enjoyed. Let us know if you'd like to see more content like this. We're planning a series around this. Again, we're looking into ways to make this much faster. I think in the future, what we're gonna do is more of a voiceover type look for this, to make it much more quick, and that way we can do it later in the week and capture these deals that are coming in over the weekend. We just wanted to put out our first video like this, get some thoughts, opinions on what people would like to see. Obviously, this is a type of video that really needs to be watched within, well, first 72 hours or so. Well, actually even less, probably like 50 hours or so. But just let us know what you think, if you like stuff like this, or if you had any ideas for it. If you like this video, you can check out things that are not cheap in our last video on the most expensive combinations right here.